So imagine saying this template brings everything from the other template. Got it? And if you create an object of the child template, this object has everything the child has, plus whatever the parent has. Got it? Got it? Yes.
And what I don't get is that you're saying, like in another example in Salvo 1, you would just put new human, right?
Okay.
So why would you do extend here versus doing new human?
Why do I create new human?
Yeah. If you were in the women's class, you would put new human and then put in the attributes that you would have had as human, right?
You said I wrote an example like that?
No, like before, you've always said like if you have woman, you would put new human and then just fill in the attributes. And then it would just, I don't know.
Just wait and see. I think I see what your question is coming from, but you're going to see as we move on. I think you want to talk about generalization, putting a human and getting a woman there. I think you're getting into the point. I'm going to do that. Maybe that's going to clarify your mind. No question? Okay. Inheritance 101. Remember the keyword, guys. What is static? Remember static?
Shared.
Good. That's the synonym you have to keep in your brain to make it easy to remember. When you talk about inheritance in Java, remember generalization, okay? That's the key word. That's why we use inheritance, to generalize classes into one generic class. Let me tell you something just to break some mystery. Remember the class object, and you create your array list without specifying a type, and you could add anything, remember?
Yeah.
So the class object I told you is the very first class that Java brings, right? So guess what? All classes are children of the class object. So it looks like here, the very parent is human, right? But even though you don't see it, this class inherits from a class object. Got it? You don't see that. When you create class human, you don't see that. But behind the scenes, your class human is inheriting from object. Okay? Yes?
And object has nothing in it?
Has some methods, like the toString, it's there, it's part of object, and some others. Yes?
But we don't have to write.
You don't have to write extends object. You don't have to write extends object. It's understood. Every time you create a class, it's understood that it's extending from object. Okay? And I'll show you soon why I say that.
So woman can be a parent class too, of many other.
Correct. I can have another class here saying.
Just keep going and going.
Family tree.
All right.
Well, this will not look too nice, but this class woman could be a child of two other classes. Here, pretty woman, ugly woman. I have yet two more classes, right? Doesn't sound too nice, right? Before I get beaten, I'll erase this. Got it? You understand what I'm saying, right? You can keep going. You can keep going as deep as you want. So let me create a class here. Say class human. So obviously I have to create a class human first, right? Because how can I create a class man and woman if I don't have the parent, right? I have to create a parent class first, right? It's like your father had to exist before you existed, right? So here, I'll put all the attributes. When I create a class human, normally when you create a parent class, you have to think of all the things that are common to both and put it here. If I put pregnant here, that would be a mistake, because that will work fine for woman, but will not make sense for the class man. Got it?
Yep.
So you have to be very careful when you design your classes with inheritance, and make sure that you only put whatever is common in the class human. A typical error, very, very extremely typical error, is that people don't see too many common attributes at the beginning, and just put two, for example. And then as they start coding, they start putting the same attributes on both sides. If you start noticing that you're putting the same thing on two sides, you should realize that this attribute should go here, not in each of them. Got it?
Yeah.
Clear? Simple, right? Okay, don't feel bad if you get those errors, guys. That's normally at the beginning it happens. Happens to everybody. We said height, right? Okay, so this is our class human. I will take constructor, get it, and set it, for example. Even to string if you want. Doesn't really matter. class Erin. Now let me create a class woman first if you want to. Woman. Oops, I get nervous, you see? Okay, so here, if I just leave it like this is a separate class. Nothing is given there. I have to put everything. So I'll have to put here extends human. When I put this magic word, extends human, now it is understood that it's going to get everything from human. Let's see what's here. Forget about it. So here, I'll put here something like double. Private. Private double. What is wrong with me? I get nervous. You see when I say that. I'm going to say something else. Good thing I didn't finish the sentence. Sometimes things are heard in the wrong way, right? Yeah. Right, so I'm talking with good faith, okay? Don't get me wrong. Okay. Okay. But there you guys, I'm playing with pregnancy. So, let's see what's wrong here. I think everything's fine. Constructor. Oh, it's expecting that one. Yeah, this is not a constructor, so. Anyway, so let me create a constructor. This looks bad, girls. Don't hate me for this, but this is just Java, public woman, okay? Okay. This is the thing. I'm going to create a woman object, right? When I have my class structure defined like this, it's true. I'm saying that class woman is inheriting from human, right? But when I am creating objects, I can create a woman regardless of any other class. Meaning that even though I have these three classes, if my main only needs to create two women objects, that's fine. I don't need to create this and this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Meaning, I have the template for building a woman, a man, and a human, right? But in the main, depending on my needs, I might only create one object woman, and that's it. And don't use this template at all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But it will still extend the template.
Correct, it will still reuse the template from human. Got it?
Yeah.
Now, and why am I saying this? Because if I want to create a woman object, I need to provide all the things that a woman needs. Sounds like something else again, right? Thank you, guys. I gotta pick other names, right? For the class, right? Okay. Okay. To make this woman object, I have to provide everything that the class woman needs. Got it? Okay? So, I have to give everything she needs. What does she need? She needs to provide a value for pregnant, true or false, to construct her, right? But what else do we need to provide for the woman?
Everything that's in human.
If we're saying that she's going to get everything from human, we need to get values to everything that she needs from human, right? So when we want to create a woman, even though we're here, we need to provide information for building this value, pregnant, but also we need to provide value for setting this up. Got it? So whoever wants to create a woman, that person needs to give that woman her first name, her last name, her age, and her height. Got it?
Yeah.
And then, whatever is specific to the class, a value for pregnant, true or false. Yes,
The value that goes in the child class, is it always after all the values from the parent class?
you don't have to do it like that.
But
But
then where
the
would-
standard is, it goes like that. The standard is to do it like that. And you're gonna see why. Okay? Do you understand his question?
Yep.
He's saying, do I have to put a value for this last attribute, pregnant, before or after I set up the other ones? I told him, you can do it however you want. If you want, you can put this in the middle of these two guys. Doesn't really matter. But the standard is that you put the values for these values first, and then put the value for this guy.
What if instead of pregnant, you also had an int?
If I had another int,
How would you know which int was from the woman class and which int was from the human class?
because when you define your class, you do that manually on your own. I'm gonna show you what I mean. I'm gonna show you. So, I said I need a person, right? Correct? I'm doing a constructor manually. I could have NetBeans do it for me, but I want to do it manually so that you guys understand why I'm doing everything, okay? What else do I need for a woman? Her last name, right? I'm getting everything from the human class first, then her age, right? AG, for example. I can even something adaptable for height, right? And then, just because of the standard, I'm gonna put whatever is specific for woman. What does a woman have? Just one attribute, right? Just one attribute here, pregnant, right? Pregnant. My bad. They call it PR, okay? For pregnant. Now, you could think that I have to do this. First name equal FN, so on and so forth, right? I don't need to. You know why? Because when I define the class human, the constructor of human is already doing all that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you get an error message if you don't fill out the constructor exactly the same as in
I will
human?
get an error message. You know why? Because the attributes in the class human are private, so they will not be accessible from woman.
I'm sorry, I meant, do we get an error if the constructor in woman is leaving out, like, let's say string last name, and we get
If
an
you
error?
forget something,
Yeah.
you're gonna need it.
Okay.
You're gonna need it, so you won't be able
Otherwise
to
you
miss it.
can't, okay.
So what you want to do is somehow, since the human class, that is the parent of woman, already has the constructor for setting up all those attributes, it would be nice to just reduce that constructor, right? So the constructor could be in charge of setting up those values, right? And leave to the woman constructor only the job of setting up pregnant, because that's the only attribute that is inside woman, right? Got it? So what you do is you call super. When you say super, you're pretty much saying the constructor from my parent class.
Oh.
So when you say super, pretty much you're saying, call the constructor of my parent class. But if you want to call the constructor from the parent class, which is human, you need to provide first name, last name, age, and height, right? Got it? Do you have those values? Yes, because you requested them, right? So you just have to plug in. And that's why it said, Darlene, that you need them. You have them there.
Yeah, okay.
And if you don't have them, you can put no, and just pass no if you don't want to ask for it. If in the woman class, for example, guys, if in the woman class you don't know the last name of the woman, you can still ask for it and receive it here, right? And then pass no here, and that's it. And then leave it for later to be set up. Got it? Now, when I did super, I pretty much said, you know what? I pretty much said, you know what? The constructor of the parent class is being in charge of setting up everything, right? Correct? Now my problem is how do I set up the value for pregnant, true and false, right? The local attribute, right? So all I have to do here is say pregnant equal PR. And the constructor for woman is ready. Got it?
So if
One at a
it's
time. You and then Darren. Yes.
super, doing it this way is super, if you tell us the right way, that is the only way?
There are multiple ways.
Okay.
Because if you realize the class human could have also different constructors, more than one constructor.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? There are multiple combinations, right? Because the class human could have a constructor with no attributes. Right? And if I wanted to use that from woman, then I wouldn't have the need to receive all that. I would just receive pregnant and call the constructor from woman with from human with nothing. And then say pregnant equal PR. Got it? So there are multiple combinations of how you want to play with it. Is that clear? I'm just doing it one simple way. Hold on, before you, Darren.
Oh, well, that was my question, but if you have more than one constructor, then how does super know which constructor is?
Again, because if in the super I pass only with parentheses here and nothing, knows it has to call the constructor with nothing. If I pass a super with 2, then it will know it has to call the constructor from human with 2 parameters. Got it? Yes, you sir? Your question, good. Is everybody clear with what I was talking? Yes? This is a very simple scenario. The different versions, the different flavors that you can have, just a matter of playing with it, right? Okay. So, now, do I have to create getters and setters for every attribute? For first name, last name?
No, they're already in there.
Great. I don't have to because the parent has them, so I should be able to just use them, right? So we need to worry about the attributes only here, right? So we'll just create a getter and setter for what? For parent, right? And if I want, I can create a toString for woman as well, right? So just a standard, you know, you can put it wherever you want. And you can have more methods. You can have more methods like public, string, you can have, for example, you want to know if the woman is in a good mood, or actually it's trivial bullying, right? Or just ask mood, for example. You know, women sometimes are moody, sometimes, not all of them. You know. You can receive an attribute here such as double. The wallet has more than $2,000. Right? See? Computer is not letting me. Then you say, for example, we are happy. Else, you have this, right? Just making a joke, guys. Doesn't have to be like that. But I'm saying, you can add your own methods, right? You can add your own methods. That's why we say extend. Got it? That's why I say extend. Because I have these methods above, right? I'm putting the method getter and setter for the attribute in woman, which was pregnant, which is true or false. And I'm also getting all the attributes, sorry, all the methods from the parent class human, right? But still, on top of that, I can have my own methods. Oops.
Oh, the lights are turning on.
Yeah, there is a pose or something here. Okay. Oh yeah, the lights are on again, right?
Oh,
Okay, let me put something else because then some people are going to get offended by you. Say, I don't know, whatever. You understand have any other method, right guys? I'm not going to You understand you can have any other method, that's enough, right? With that I'm happy, you don't let it take up more methods.
You can start with the men class.
Sorry?
You can start with the men class.
Yeah, I think I should start with the math class. Please, with the math class I'm offending myself, so nobody gets offended, right? You guys should have more tolerance, right? So, okay, I'll do 10 human, right? So here I'll have Boolean, beard, for example, right? Look, I can use a constructor also, insert code constructor for beard. And you see, even though I just put for beard, everything came in. You see? And the super everything in there. Got it?
Yep.
How'd you do that?
yeah, no, it was witchcraft.
One at a time.
Okay,
I'll go to you next. Yes.
when you were talking about super and Darlene's question is if human was a child of mammal, when you do super and let's say mammal has like overloaded constructors, like they have
You have to pass a constructor with everything. Including that part that we are part. You're going to see that soon. After this. Yes, sir.
Alright, goes back to the one before.
You want me to go to the class before?
Yeah.
Woman class? Okay, here's the woman class.
The woman class was, like right over here, because you put in the sets and getters, they put all to the next one, right?
Sorry?
For the sets and getters, you put everything, like everything that you already wrote down in there, so anytime you roll it up, it passes over, right?
I mean, I don't have to write the greatest setters for the attributes first and last name because they are coming from the human class. I just need to put greatest setters for the attributes that are local to the woman class, which in this case is just one. Got it?
Yeah, so it doesn't waste more time, right?
Correct, it takes time because I'm reusing code. You start?
When you were putting them, like, you put string FN, string LN, and for last name, first name, but on the other one, it put for F and then name. Was that because of the order?
These guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the same name because it's looking at the class human and it's copy pasting the same names. That's how the beast does.
So in the other one, it's doing you even though the name wasn't like that? Or
Sorry?
in the other one, and the other one?
In the class woman, I did it by hand. I did it by hand.
So that was acceptable even though it doesn't look like that on the class human?
Doesn't really matter. These are parameters. The parameters can be called whatever you want. These are parameters. Remember, all of these are parameters. You can call it A, B, C, D. These are parameters. Remember, your parameters can be called anything. Right? Always remember, parameters can be called anything. Like, I can have a program that says x equal 5, for example, and then I call f of x. And my method can be defined like this: void f of int x. Right? Seems like it's fine. But if I were to put here w and pass w, does it work?
Yeah.
Still works, even though they have a different name. Right? So this guy, or I can call this guy even p, and it still would work. Right?
Oh, I see. So like, what if I put, instead of string fn, you put like double?
If I put double, double x, then it would be wrong because the constructor super expects a string at the beginning, not a double. Then that data type, yes. Hold on. I don't even have to move the mouse, right? Yes, that's mind power, guys.
Yeah, so basically, you just have to follow the same template of string, like double or whatever.
Correct. You just have to follow the template of the parent class. So the reason why I knew what to put here is because I went to the human class, look at the constructor, saw everything that I needed, and pretty much put the same data type there. Got it?
The data type was right, the name didn't matter.
The name doesn't matter. You can put the same data type. Yes.
What I don't understand is why you have to put public woman and then list everything that came from the constructor on the other class.
Because remember, you want to create a woman independently from anybody else, right?
Well, why can't inheritance just refer to that constructor? Like, why do you have to build another constructor? I mean, it's not the full thing, but it's the same.
I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I think
Like, instead of just putting a constructor of the new thing that you're gonna look at, like the pregnancy, for example, why do you have to list everything from human if it's already inheriting?
because if I would put just public woman and then Boolean PR, right? If I would just ask for PR, right? How could I set up the values for name, last name, and all that? How?
But if you're doing extends on top, wouldn't you be doing that?
Yes, but where do I receive the values? Remember, in the constructor, when you say new woman, that's when you receive the values that you want to set up.
Oh, okay.
Understand it? Yes, Eric.
So technically, in that constructor, you could mix up how you declare them at the top, and still
You don't have to list
grab
everything.
exactly.
You mean the names?
Yeah,
You can mix those up as long as they're in the same order at the bottom.
Good question. Okay, look at what Darian is telling me. He's making a good analysis. I can pass these two guys, for example, swap. Okay? I can pass these two attributes, these two parameters here, swap. Like pass int age first and then ln.
Yes.
As long as I call the constructor from the parent in the right order.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Is that
That's what I
clear?
was asking before when I was,
When you were asking
in
here?
order.
Okay.
So
So that's the idea. You can pass these guys in total disorder. You can pass the pregnant first or the pregnant here. That's what you asked me. Remember I told you the standard, right? You can pass them in any order. But when you want to call the constructor here in super, respect the order that the constructor of human established. The constructor from human established that first it needs a string, then another string, then an integer, and then a double. Make sense? Yes? To avoid a big soup confusion in your brain, just stick to that standard. Put first everything the parent requires and then whatever is specific to the class. That's it. So you avoid a bunch of confusion in your brain. And if you want, name everything the same as the parent. Just make sure you name the last one different because that one you will have the need of this otherwise, right? Got it? Simple. Clear? So going back to man. Okay guys, we were here, right? So I told you guys answers for beer. And I can have other methods, right? Correct?
Yep.
Something like, what else? What do you want? What method do you want to have, guys?
You just have
Married or not married?
have a job?
Okay, in. So imagine you're picky with girls, but depending on how drunk you are, you might be less picky, right? Right? Got it? Good, right? So in case you're just, maybe you have 5% of alcohol in your blood, okay, return, imagine you have levels of pickiness, something from 0 to 5. So you're very picky, right? Because you're not that drunk, right? Correct? Case, you're 10, or you're say 30. Now you will be less picky, right? Or maybe 4, right? Maybe 1, 2, 3, okay? You are very picky 3, you're half picky, and I'll assume default can be anything. I know that you guys can be here and tell me doesn't have to be bigger. Yeah, default could be 0, right? But I will assume that default is larger than 30, so you're totally drunk. So you're going to return picky 0 or whatever. Got it? I'm just making some random example. Okay? So depending on how drunk you are, if you have an alcohol level of 5, you're very picky. 3, right? If you have 30 alcohol, then you're less picky. You return 2, right? And if you are more than 30, this default doesn't mean necessarily more than 30. It can be also 0, right? Because default means different than this, right? But I'm just assuming in this case means more than that. So I'm going to return 0. I'm not picky at all, anything. Right? Got it? Good example, guys? We guys don't get offended with that, right?
That's car really.
Huh? That happens to you very often? Okay. Yes, because if I need a return, okay, guys, got it? Yes? So now, here I'm going to answer the question from the guy at the back. Had a very good question, and I'm going to answer it. He told me, Professor, in the class woman has the same problem as the class man. He's telling me the constructor of woman or man, why the heck do they need to receive all these attributes if they have only one attribute? And you said that everything is coming from inheritance. And my answer was because in the main, I can create a woman without the need of creating a man or a human. I can go ahead and create a woman directly. Right?
Yeah.
Correct? And if I want to create her, I will say new woman, right? Correct? And here I will have to specify all the values I want for this woman, right? And if the constructor of woman wouldn't receive everything, then I would have a way to set up her name, last name, age, and height. Got it? That's the reason. There?
Yeah.
So here I will create a woman. Name, guys, name, favorite woman. Right? Format, last name.
Banana.
Good? Age, 23. Height, I don't know. 5, 6, whatever. What am I missing? Say false. Unless you messed it up, right? Same thing, right? And I can put all the names, right? Carlos, you're Tobon, right?
Yeah.
I won't ask your age because now even guys are getting picky about it. I'll just put a random age. And here, say false, you shave today. Okay? I forgot height, right?
Yeah.
Say, I don't know how tall you are, say 5 to 11, whatever. Just put in a random height. Why did I make a mistake? What's the mistake? String. Oh, this is a problem with NetBeans, you see? NetBeans puts this first. Got it?
Oh, here.
So NetBeans does it that way. That's the way NetBeans does. It doesn't have to be like that. You can do it like I did. I normally don't go like NetBeans. They put the attribute referring to the class at the end. But NetBeans does it like that. You understand the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to put false first, right? Correct? To comply with NetBeans constructor, right? And create another man. comments, right? Yeah. False. Money. There's Gomez. I don't know, if you say 25, whatever age. No, it has to be high, right? 7.5, right? Right, money? More or less, right?
Yeah,
Okay, what am I doing wrong here?
You put both of them in the same.
Same name.
And
The same variable, right? M2, right? So I can create as many things as I want, right? Correct? Now, the way I have designed my classes, guys, the way I have designed my classes is with 3 classes, right? Human, man, and woman, right? My 3 classes are called concrete classes. Sounds like I'm introducing a new buzzword, right? Concrete. We're going to learn soon about abstract classes and interfaces. Soon, not today. Okay? And I want to emphasize that what we are doing until now, what you have done in Java 1, and what you have done until today, maybe next class as well, are concrete classes. Classes pretty much, what does concrete class means? A class that can be instantiated. We can instantiate these classes, yes, we can create objects out of them, right? So they are instantiatable, right? So the human class is a concrete class as well, right? So I can create a human class if I want to. So somebody might ask me, Professor, why would you create a class human? Why would you create a class human if you want to create a person, that person is either a man or a woman? Why not just create a man or a woman? Why create a human?
And you don't know what it is.
Maybe because you don't know what it is. A little surprises, right? So, or not necessarily that. Somebody comes and tells you, you know what, I have this friend that wants to work for us. And that person says friend. In English, we don't have like in Spanish, right? Friend can mean female or male, right? So, and he tells you the person of this friend, the name of this friend is Pat. Patricia or Patrick, right? Right?
Right.
You don't do anything with that last name, right? The last name doesn't indicate a gender, right? So Pat Smith, right? And this person says 20 years old and has a height of 5'5". Can be a short man, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, right? So the way we have established our classes allow us to create objects from the children classes or even from the parent class. Got it? That's useful, right? Because we don't know which gender this person belongs to, for example, right? We just know a name. Make sense? It happens very often, right? Sometimes we deal with people that we don't know, and we hear over the phone, and sometimes voices are deceiving, right? Right? Has it happened to you guys? Yeah, right? Yes.
But
Happened to you?
you're supposed to have a last name, and you just want to fill that spot, and you just put no.
If you don't know the name, you would put no, comma, that. Or you would have to go to your parent class, human, for example, if that's where you want to do it, and create another constructor that receives from last name on, it doesn't receive from first name, for example. Okay? So it's just a matter of combinations, how you want to combine. Remember all of you learned in the beginning with classing objects that I put different kind of constructors called overloading constructors? Same thing applies here. You can have overloading constructors. And when you call super, you can specify which super you want to call. And depending on which super you call, you can have multiple constructors also in the child class. Got it? Is that clear? That child class woman can have overloaded constructors too. And each constructor can call different supers from the parent class. Right? Clear? It's just a matter of how you combine things. You see how things are tying together, right? So, this is the beautiful thing, guys. Check this out. Say I want to know the last name of age of a human. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. But, get last name is part of human, right? So I can call that method directly, right? What if I want to know now the last name of the woman W? This is a beautiful thing, guys. Check it out. You see all the methods that are available here? If you have a very good eye, you will see that this method, for example, set pregnant, looks darker. It's in bold. Same as to string, and same as is pregnant. So they're local? Exactly. Very good definition. I'll give you a point for that word. These methods are in bold because these methods are local to the class woman. And W is an object of class woman. Got it? That's the only reason why. The rest of the methods are given by inheritance for free. Like what? Get age, get height. Those are coming from inheritance from the class human. Got it? But you see other methods like get class, notify all, notify, hash code. You see this? Where do you think these are coming from?
Object.
From the object class. Got it? That's why I told you. All of them inherit from object. Clear, guys? Yes? Beautiful, right? Things are making sense now?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you would see those methods, notify, hash, and you would say, like, where the heck do they come from, right? Now it makes sense? Yes? This is the idea of Java, guys. I don't like Java that much as a first programming class, because unfortunately, when I teach you programming 1, I have to hide many mysteries. Like public static main. You don't know what that means until you learn actually what is a static method, right? You understand, oh, now we have a public static main, right? And unfortunately, you have to hide many things until you get to know stuff. Like now you're understanding why you were getting all those methods, but before you didn't have a clue, but you still use them, right? So that's why I prefer C or Pascal, the first programming language. Many people criticize Pascal because they say, come on, it's from the 70s. You have the blue screen with white text there. But it's very beautiful as a first programming language. Very useful because it takes away from your attention all the crappy things that are mysteries. Everything is clear. You know what you're doing every single step. Once you master logic, boom, you jump to anything, it's a breeze. Got it? So we can here get last name, right? This is a beautiful thing, guys. Look, I'm calling the method get last name. I'm calling the method get last name from a human or from a woman object. And both are called the same. Yes, because both are coming from the human class. Right? And even though woman did not define the method get last name, it's there. It's there. Got it? Even more. Remember the class human I defined these attributes? If I would have defined these attributes in the class human as public instead of private, the class woman could directly access each of them. But that's not a good idea, right? That's why we put private, and if we want to access any attribute from the class woman, we call it from there, right? Now let's do something. Say we want to print a human to a string. H, we'll have to put a string. Just H will do to string automatically, right?
Yes.
Let's try to do the woman also. Put the woman into a string. Sure?
All right.
That list was two-string bold.
Look. Yeah. Yes, it was bold because I implemented a string in the human and in the woman class. So for the human class, the toString put everything, right? But for the woman, it put only present.
Because that's how you had it.
Because that's how I had it, right?
Yeah.
If we go to the class woman, it's going to do that, right? Let's see, what happens if I comment it out here? Woman, what will I print? An idea?
Same like
Any idea?
The memory.
Got it? Got it? Is that clear? Now, the class woman did not have to string anymore because I commented out. So this is how inheritance works. You have to see the picture, guys.
It's still saying woman.
Hold on a sec. It's still saying woman, that's fine. Yeah, that's the standard. That's because it's saying human, man. It's not saying woman, it's saying
Oh,
human.
yeah, I mean it's saying human.
Yes. Because this is how it works. Check this out carefully. I tried to call toString from here, right? In the previous scenario, it found the toString local. That's why I called the toString from woman and printed pregnant, right? Pregnant equals false or something, right? Remember, I deleted that method because I commented out. So the way Java tried to solve that was saying, do you have toString here? No. Goes up. Do you have toString here? Yes. So I'll use it. Got it? That's why I printed a toString from human. Got it?
Now what if you hadn't commented it out and you still wanted the two-string from?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that can be possible too. But what if I commented this out here as well? You see? It's printing the address in memory, right? So it's asking, do you have toString here? No. Do you have toString here? Will as object give me the toString that you've got? And what if I had a method called toString too? I don't have it here, I don't have it here, and I don't have it here. What happens?
Oh.
The program crashes. You're calling a method that does not exist. Got it? Wouldn't even crash, it wouldn't even compile. Got it? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes? Now, let's go to the class human and comment this. what if I wanted to print for the toString from woman? What if I want to print, besides printing all this pregnant and whatever, what if I wanted to cut my own, I want to have my own string, okay? I want to form my own string. I want this string to be what? I want to get, before getting that, say I want to print the first name, the last name, everything. How can I get the first name? Doesn't that give me the first name? Yes or no?
No. Because there's oh wait, yeah.
This is the beautiful thing of inheritance, guys. Do you see a method get first name here in this class? No. You don't see it, right? But do you see here that this method is being called?
Yes.
Right? It's being called because what happens is when you say the word extends, it's like magically, even though you don't see it, all the getters and setters, all the methods from the class human were copied there as part of the class woman as well. So calling get first name, doing it here is the same. It's calling from inheritance, right? But it's like if it were calling a method that were above because it's supposed to be there. Got it?
Yeah.
Clear? Yes? So I can start building my string the way I want it, right? I can do something like this, right? Get first name, get last name. Imagine I just want to print these two guys together. And then I want to print also the pregnant thing with true or false. So if I run this program now, I'm going to print Ana Carolina false. Right? Got it? For the woman and for the human, the same thing, right? But what if I wanted to call the toString from the parent class? Do you understand what I'm saying? What if I wanted to call the toString from the parent class and add the pregnant thing? So if you say toString like this, what will happen?
Already.
Java will say you're calling to a string. But since you have a toString locally, it's going to call himself. It never go out. Right?
Right.
You don't want to do that. You want to tell Java to call that toString, but from the parent. Right? Not yours, because if you want to call yours, that's like that. It's going to be like calling yourself, right? You want to call the one from the parent, right? It has the same name, right? So the way to distinguish it, since they have the same name,
Human that toString.
super toString.
Okay.
Got it? And then I can concatenate here something like, for example, whatever, pregnant. Got it? So, hold on 1 second. So if I were to run this program now, it's giving me everything from human, and next to it, pregnant, right? You had a question before you use somebody else, but you had a question, no? Yes.
So when you use super toString, it calls the toString from the immediate parent?
From the immediate parent.
Okay. What if you wanted to go to
You're going to say
the highest levels?
maybe you should think that as an extra grade. Also. Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes?
And what
Easy?
if you would like just a toString, what is just when you press play, what is just what just
I couldn't hear you. You repeat that?
if you want to just select the toString and then continuously loops in the same and what it just when you hit play.
The program would never end. Would be
Never
calling
end.
forever.
Could you also do like human dot toString? Or it's that, doesn't matter?
Human plus human. One
No, like
human.
human dot toString.
You can call that a method that you get from the class when the method is static. You know, the toString is not a static method. The toString needs an object, so that from that object I can call toString. I don't have any object here. Got it? Be careful with that. No more confusion. That's another. Is that clear, guys? Yes? Easy? Is your card inheritance so far? So far it's 8? Yes? So far so good? Yes, Carlos?
What did you press to make it like autocomplete?
Control space.
Control space?
Control space means faster to type. You can tell the first letters and then it will detect. You guys, any question? No? No?
His question,
You have a question?
if you wanted to call from,
He has a question yet, but I wanna do that next class when I construct 3-level. So, okay, heads up guys, next class, I'm gonna construct a 3-level inheritance where I'm gonna have a parent and a grandparent and obviously the child, right? And we're gonna see how we do that. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do that because I will do also other examples. And if I don't have time, that will be your extra credit again to get more points. Okay? How to do that? That will be next class. I'll give you extra credit class, don't worry now. Guys, again, we are already on Java 2. Okay, at this point, we still have 5 minutes, guys, so don't leave yet.
this is Java 2 already?
This is Java 2 already. Today is the first chapter of Java 2, okay? So what we were doing before was pretty much just like a small review to make you catch up, okay? Some of you were, well, I wouldn't say some of you, most of you were saying that you had a terrible Java 1 experience, right? For whatever reason it was. So we have finished already Java 1 material, okay? We're already behind. I'm doing inheritance today. I'm going to continue with inheritance for probably 2 more weeks. And then I'm going to jump into recursion. And it's going to be nuts. Then I'm going to jump into linked list. And it's going to be more nuts. So you have to study, guys. You have to practice a lot, okay? I like teaching here, showing you how code is made so that you can see that it's easy to be made. It's not like magic thing that appears in front of you in a PowerPoint slide. This is actual code being created in front of you, okay? I hope that you really appreciate that, guys. And the way to appreciate that is not with an email saying thank you. I like those emails. But what I like more is you practicing. You have been showing me that you have been practicing another ring with Yuken. You guys are a duo, a dynamic duo. That's good. I like that, you know? And I don't care. You can send me 1,000 emails, guys, saying I have been working here, give me some hints, and if I have time, I'll give you some hints. But work. I want you to work, guys. Remember the first time I took programming?